So what are we going to talk about today, Wally?
What are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about sex.
Ooh.
Yeah? You excited? You're excited? You've been humping.
I'm so excited.
You've been humping everything, so you're going to need to watch this video. He's getting so big.
He is.
Look at how big he is. Alright, run along.
We love you.
Mommy and Daddy have to talk about Mommy and Daddy things. Oh. Howdy, friends.
Hey guys, what's up? Obviously you clicked on this video for a reason. You may be curious, you may have questions, and you may be the one who has written a comment many times asking about this topic.
And the answer to your question is...
We have not had sex with one another, or what we have now.
Yes.
We're married now, so if you guys were unaware, if you're new to this
We've
channel...
been married a month and we have not had sex.
We're just, thinking about it, seeing if we really want to do it.
Warming up to it.
But we are Nick, and Chelsea.
I am Nick.
Enjoy doing videos like this together, but we've never done a video on this topic for a specific reason. One being, we've just been dating and engaged in the past, and we felt that sex is such a big and just heavy topic that we shouldn't address when we're dating or engaged, because we just never know if we're gonna actually be together, if we're gonna end up together. Obviously we did. And we were very confident about the fact that we were actually gonna get married, but the odds are is you just never know until you say I do.
One of the biggest reasons that we didn't beforehand is because when you're not married, there is a level of uncertainty. There is a level of this person can come into my life or leave my life at any given time. And
even in engagement, you never know.
The way that Chelsea and I wanted to walk into our marriage was knowing that we are committed to one another no matter what comes or what happens in our life. And so that's one of the biggest reasons that we did not actually have sex before marriage. We just knew that we didn't want to go down that road.
We mostly were emphasizing on what is it going to do to our hearts, our minds, and our souls, and we knew that we wanted to protect one another. And I think we did fall at some points because we didn't mess around with boundaries. That's kind of like the wrong phrasing, but we definitely knew that we were attracted to one another, and a lot of people just say, go for it. It doesn't matter. Life is short. Just do whatever you feel. But whenever we do whatever we feel, sometimes our feelings lie to us. We shouldn't just do what we feel, because there are logical reasons to things, and there are reasons people break up and stick together, and we just think sex is such a molding thing. And now that we're married, we can say that because we obviously have had sex, and we're so glad that we waited. And it's not just because it's great and it's such a fun thing to do and whatnot, but it can act as kind of like glue in your relationship. When things are rough or there's tension between you two, it is that glue. And so when you take that outside of marriage, you can see how that can literally get sticky, because you are
that's a good analogy.
Allowing that outside of what it was designed for.
Sex is one of these big topics, right, that you hear a lot about. You hear people having affairs because of it. You hear people leaving their marriages because of it. You hear people getting together or breaking up because of it. And it's a really misunderstood thing. And I don't want to make this video seem like it's all about views, or it's all about, hey, let's put in some taboo topic like sex and hope people click. I think we're making this video to give some clarity just from our perspective. I'm not saying that we are here and we know everything, but this is a really misunderstood topic, especially in people who are younger and in our generation. So we just wanted to give our opinion and some thoughts that we have about it. So,
and what I would say to myself if I wasn't married, if I wasn't with Nick, and I was being tempted in a relationship to cross that line and start having sex with who I was with, I would tell myself there's a reason for this gift, because it really is a gift. And if I had already crossed that line, I think there is it's a Christian phrase, but there is redemption in that, meaning if you choose to walk the other way, you don't have to continue in that way. If you feel like you've already gone too far, or you've already done too much, or you've already messed too much up, that is a lie. you can change your life at any point. You can walk the other way. You can do whatever you want, honestly.
Your life,
in that way.
at least a circumstance. Of course, not all. I mean, there are some things that are 100% out of your control. There are some things that you, no matter what you do, no matter what you think, no matter what you say, you cannot control. I want to show grace and mercy and understanding to that. But ultimately, the far majority of your life will be a product of the decisions that you make. And my mentor, a guy I really respect a lot, he tells me on a regular basis, he says, Nick, the story that you're creating that you'll tell later on down the road is happening with the decisions that you make right now. Maybe you're watching this video and maybe you've never had sex, or maybe you're not even dating anyone, or maybe you have been in 10 or 15 relationships and you've had sex in all of those. We're not here in any kind of way saying that, hey, you're wrong, you don't deserve, to be like, none of that at all. We're just here conveying what we did and why we did it, and that's all. We're not saying, you're wrong or you're right or this is how it should be and no, you can't do that. Like, none of that. I want this to be a conversation that's open and free and able for you to, just think and ponder on. We believe that marriage is the place for sex, and sex is meant for marriage, and so no, we didn't, and we're thankful that we didn't, but we also don't fault anyone who does, because we know it's a really hard battle. We have tons of friends who have, and they've all said it's a really hard battle, and we have friends who, on both sides of it, friends who have had sex before marriage and they are married, and then friends who have had sex before marriage and they're not. So it's a really hard thing, and I don't want to make it sound like we were doing everything 100% right. Like, there were definitely times where we just blatantly messed up and we crossed the line in some ways, and we had to take a step back, and I know many of you probably feel the same way. It's
a lot of reevaluating when you're having these conversations with one another. It's a lot of reevaluating where your hearts are at, and also your boundaries and why they're boundaries, and are they actually solidified boundaries, or are
and
you
if
guys
you have them, assuming you have them,
wishy-washy with them. You don't want to be like that if you are choosing to walk like this. And I mean, sex is just a great thing, but it is, like we've heard from many of our married couples and now being married, even if it's just been for a month, we know it's such a small part of marriage. A lot of our marriage is spent like actually talking together and working together.
It's a very minute.
And when you do, it's great, but it's not like this most glorious, life-altering thing that everybody puts on a pedestal, especially in our culture. So we just wanted to share our heart and where we're at with it, and hopefully it encourages you.
Take it. That's my dog chewing on chicken. He's very loud too. So I would say this to those of you who are thinking about it, or you're dead set determined on abstaining, or you don't really have an opinion too much one way or the other. I would just say take it from our experience. It worked really well for us, and we don't regret it at all. We haven't walked into marriage with a lot of regret. So that's a really freeing and awesome thing to have, and an awesome feeling to have.
It is special to just have that. That's the one thing that we know that we can have together that we don't have with anyone else, and it's just like sacred. It's a part of our relationship that we're really thankful for. That's all that we have to say for this video, and I'm sure it'll come up in other topics and other videos. But as we progress in our marriage, we definitely already had like our issues. Marriage is it's a different stage of life. If you've been dating someone for 7-8 years and you step into marriage, like, it's something totally different, because you get to see someone on a raw, like, a new level that you've never seen them as, and
all the stuff
flaws,
and junk and but also all the amazing things as well.
Right. Before you guys leave, go ahead and leave a comment on what you guys think, what you've heard on this topic, and also just maybe where you stand. We like to hear other people's perspectives. Of course, we're solidified in what we believe, but there is a reason why it works for us. And a lot of other couples that you see out there, you hear a lot of people that say just don't have sex before marriage, but they never tell you why.
And then you also hear people on the other side. So we're going to pin a comment right here down below, asking what your opinion is and why you think what you think, and we would love to hear some feedback from you, whether you're for it or against it. We welcome anyone and everyone who comes to the channel. So that's all I have to say.
And we will see you in the next video.
See you later.